Hey, great to see everybody here. Got another nice day for football. We're excited to practice. Getting excited for the game, for the fans to be back at home. Monday night football game at home is very exciting for us to have, and we're really looking forward to that too. And I know our fans are excited about it also. So, what questions do you have?
I know you're focused on the Colts, but Haloti Ngata is going to be inducted in the Ring of Honor. What kind of comes to your mind when you think of Haloti?
Well, I mean, just dominant player. That's probably big, looms big in your mind as a coach. And then great family man. Those two things. I can remember as kids when they were just little. They're not so little anymore, as you would expect. But they're running around out here, and the sprinklers throwing the ball around and stuff, and just a great Raven.
John, do you remember your first impression of him when you walked in the building? I mean, just when you see that physical package, like just.
Yeah, you do. I mean, and I'd seen him on the field before that too, so just knew what a dominant player he was. But the personality I thought was interesting. I mean, just a soft-spoken, very classy person, a very humble guy.
Coach Oweh had said yesterday, you don't really notice just until you watch the tape and how he wins his battles and frees up their linebackers. So you're sort of seeing that too.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, he does win a lot. I saw that quote. It was a really good quote. And I thought to myself, well, that's really accurate. You know, it's really true. He had a play where they ran a play right at him, tried to kick him out, the guard kick out. And he stepped in there and stopped the guard and kind of knocked him back and came off and made the tackle right in the hole. Those are plays that not too many people notice, but those are great football plays. So it's a good point.
John, you mentioned with the streak, it's a very long. It has gone over a long period of time. When did you even become first aware of the 100-yard game streak?
I don't remember. Probably this year, sometime early this year, I think. Yeah.
Coach, with the personnel that you have you found that the coaching staff has had to retool, reshape some of the offense, in other words, to accommodate with the injuries that you've gone through and had to deal with different personnel than what you thought you may have had 3 months ago?
Definitely. I don't think it's anything drastic, but we've had to really, and our offensive coaches have done a great job, especially on that side of the ball, but on defense too, of just trying to tailor what we do towards our guys. That's something we spend a lot of time at. We try to always put our guys in position to be successful as much as we can, and that's really what we're still doing that, with different guys. You have everybody, all these guys are good players. It's just a matter of what do they do best, with each other. That's what we try to get to.
John, I'm not comparing the two teams and the way they run their offense, but it seems like Colts love to use their backs and tight ends too in different ways. Is that when you're defending them, much like last week at the Broncos who like to use those kind of guys, is that kind of a challenge this week against the Colts, dealing with their backs and tight ends?
It's a big part of it. There's no doubt about it. They use the backs every kind of way you can use them. They're involved as primary even receivers in the passing game a lot of times. They're a big screen team. They use them in high to low check down type situations in the flats or over the middle of the field. They try to match them up in man coverage. They do the same thing with their tight ends. Really well put together offense.
John, how much more challenging does this passing game become when Lamar's been as consistent as he's been on not just the over the middle stuff, but we've seen him throw more outs on time and everything like that this season?
Sure. I mean that's a big part of it. It's been good. People have defended us a certain way. I think we've responded, well to some of the things they've done. But it'll be different next week, and the week after. It's always going to be different. You've always got to be ready for all the different things you can get, because in any one game it can be something that can really give you a problem. So I really think Greg and those guys do a great job of that. We try to stay on top of that and try to anticipate what we're going to get.
You talk about that being week to week, and the fact that now you guys seem more capable to handle whatever it is they throw at you, because the deep passing game is so evolved and the run game is so, for all the different things that you have to offer, it seems to have grown so much. How much more comfortable are you? In fact, fine, bring whatever you want to do. We've got an answer for it.
Yeah, we're just trying to do the best we can for Monday night. It's always about the next game. There's challenges presented, and that's really how you think of it.
Hey, Coach, last year you faced the Colts, of course, with Philip Rivers. This time it's Carson Wentz. What kind of a threat is combined Carson Wentz with this new offense?
Well, Carson Wentz is different than Philip Rivers for sure. He can throw it. He makes a lot of throws, especially over the middle, high to low type throws. He gets the ball out to his backs really well. He's very much on time. He does a good job with protection, changes the protection, makes certain checks at the line. Then you got to be concerned with him running the ball. He's got a history of taking off and running and getting yards in scrambles, scrambling and throwing, and then also the quarterback-driven stuff he's done in the past. So these are all things that we've got to be aware of.
John, you've talked in the past about kind of the difference between a guy who gets a chance to start an NFL game and a guy who really establishes himself as an NFL starter.
Mm-hmm.
Are we seeing that kind of evolution with Anthony Averett right now?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, most definitely. He's just if he's just we'll say he's establishing himself. How about that? We'll just keep it keep it in process. But he's doing a great job.
Over the last 2 weeks, it seems like Lamar has had probably 2 of his best passing games. Do you think this is just a natural evolution? Do you think this is how the offense is maybe changing, or is that too small of a sample size?
I just think we're just trying to win the next game. It's really the big picture stuff, like I said, all that stuff. I really haven't sat back and thought about the evolution of it. We're just trying to do the best we can next week.
We talked to Devin Duvernay yesterday, and he had mentioned that he had never did punt returns before he came here. And you've had some great ones here with Ed Reed and Jacoby Jones, and even Devin Hester for a while there. What did you guys see in him to know that he would be able to run back punts?
Right. We had some good ones in Philly back in the day too. Brian Westbrook and Brian Mitchell, right? Your guy. Yeah, and Reno Mahe. There's a name for you. Led the league, okay? Reno Mahe. So, yeah, I got to give Chris Horton all the credit on that. Devin he came out and practiced it. Well, Devin deserves the credit, but for acknowledging it and seeing it was Chris and Randy and Bobby Ingram for working with him. But he looked like a natural catcher. They worked with him all season, and we got into some roster situations where we kind of needed the roster spot. And the question became, are we going to be able to put James down in that last year where we were at to pick up the roster spot and then use Devin as a punt returner? And Chris was adamant, he can do it. And I'm like, hey, we got to catch the ball. That's the main thing. And can he do that? And Chris says he can do it. And he turned out to be right. So thumbs up on being right. Yeah.
Hey, John, what's the likelihood we see Rashod Bateman on Monday night? And what does he have to show you over the next few days to get in the lineup on Monday?
Well, he's got to show that he's ready, and he's just ready to play in a game. It's going to be it's a game, and he hasn't been out there for a while. So we'll have to see that.
John, did you know any of the fans in Denver that you were celebrating with? The one in particular that hoisted you almost into the stands?
Yeah, we talked about that Monday a little bit. He played center for us at Western Michigan. And so, yeah, we've kept in touch a little bit. But to be honest with you, I didn't recognize him. He looked like a crazy man up there. I was a little afraid for a second. But man, we got high up on that wall,
Spider-Man up there.
Yeah. But then you got to come back down. See, that's the challenge.
Coach, James Prochet and Devin Duvernay, they've been getting more involved as the season has gone on, but you are about to get Bateman and Miles Boykin back. How do you balance making sure that those guys don't get lost in the shuffle?
It's a great question, and I don't think there's any real easy answer for that. We're just going to have to let it play out. The goal is to do everything we can do to be as productive as we can with the group, and those guys all root for each other. They cheer for one another. They want the best for each other. They all want to do well. So we just got to let it shake out week to week and see where we go with it. We don't know right now.
John, is Villanueva, is his status okay? Has anything changed with his status? Because obviously the tackle situation.
Sure.
Ronnie not staying.
Yeah, exactly. See, someone wants us to be over with here. We'll just have to see how that goes. It's not a serious by any stretch. We just have to see how. Sometimes during the season, you just have to see how guys are feeling week to week, and it really becomes that. Nobody's 100% at this point. Not even Lamar Jackson.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys, thanks.